Hello everyone, how's everyone doing? In this video, I'm going to touch on how to model a smartphone stand for wireless charger so that I can use the phone in portrait or landscape orientation at elevated angle while the phone is being charged. I have these wireless phone chargers and the phone can only be charged with the wireless charger flat on the table. Even when trying to elevate it with some object, it is very difficult to ensure the phone keeps charging and allow use at the same time. So if there is a phone stand that can hold the wireless charger at elevated angle and allow me to use it while charging, that will be good. Alright, let's get started with the 3D modeling of the wireless charger phone stand. Start your FreeCAD. If you do not have a copy of the FreeCAD, go to freecadweb.org. They are installer for Windows, Mac and Linux. In your FreeCAD, select Part Design Workbench, start a new document. You can go to File, New, or click on the New Document Tools on the toolbar. Create a new body, a new sketch. Select the XY plane. The first thing we're going to create is a rectangle. Select the rectangle tools, sketch the rectangle, constrain the lower left corner of the rectangle to the axis origin. The horizontal length is 96 mm. The vertical length is 71 mm. We are good with that. You can see that the sketch is fully constrained. Close it and head it up with 9 mm thickness. Alright, the next thing, select the top of the surface here and create another new sketch here. For this, we're going to draw a semicircle up here to hold the wireless chargers. The center and end point up from the center here. Draw the semicircle. Select the semicircle, pick the angle, set it to 180 degree and the radius is 47. Select the center of the semicircle to the origin. The horizontal distance is 48. Right, and the vertical distance to the origin from the center of the semicircle is 71. Next, connect a straight line across the two end points of the semicircle. Okay, and you can see that it's fully constrained. Close it. Now we want to create a pocket here, and the pocket depth is 7 mm. Select the surface again, create a new sketch, draw a rectangle. Width of the rectangle is 10 mm. The distance from the bottom left corner to the origin is 43. The vertical distance will be 25 mm as long as it's cut across the semicircle. Sketch fully constrained, close it. With the sketch, create a 7 mm pocket. Select the top surface again and create a new sketch. Draw a vertical line along the y-axis. Connect the end point and draw a horizontal line along the x-axis. Then vertical up followed by another horizontal line back and vertical up again and close the shape with the horizontal line. Select bottom left and the origin, constrain it. Select the vertical line on the y-axis and set the distance to 35 mm. The shortest vertical line to 2 mm. Set the shortest horizontal line distance to 9 mm. Next, set the longer horizontal line distance to 21 mm. You can see that it's fully constrained. Now let's mirror the shape over onto the right side of the sketch. Sketch fully constrained, close it. Next, peg the sketch up to 11 mm. Select the top surface again and create a new sketch. Draw a vertical line along the y-axis. Connect the end point and draw a horizontal line across the x-axis. Then vertical up followed by another horizontal line back and vertical up again and close the shape with the horizontal line. Set the shorter vertical line to 11 mm. Longest vertical line to 44 mm. Set the shortest horizontal line distance to 9 mm. Now let's mirror the shape over onto the right side of the sketch here. Sketch fully constrained, close it. Peg the sketch up by 2 mm. Rotate the model to the back and select the surface. Create a new sketch. Use the line tool and sketch a U shape as what you see here. Horizontal, vertical up, horizontal again, and vertical down, and then horizontal across, vertical up, and close it with a horizontal line. The longest horizontal line distance is 84 mm. The next longest horizontal line distance is 80 mm. The longest vertical line distance is 17 mm. And the width between the two horizontal lines is 2 mm. The width between the two vertical bottom corner of the shape to the origin is 71 mm. And the width from the origin to the bottom left is 6 mm. The width between the two vertical lines is 2 mm. Same apply to the right side of the two vertical lines. Make the two vertical lines equal. Now the sketch is fully constrained, close it. Pad the sketch up by 2 mm. Select surface to create a new sketch. Use rectangle tools. Draw a rectangle. The width of the rectangle is 84 mm. The height of the rectangle is 17 mm. The bottom left corner to the origin, the vertical height is 71 mm. And the bottom left to the origin, the width is 6 mm. Sketch fully constrained, close it. Pad the sketch up by 2 mm. Create a new sketch. Use the rectangle tools to sketch a rectangle. The height of the rectangle is 6 mm. The width of the rectangle is 12 mm. From top left corner to origin, the horizontal distance is 23 mm. Top left corner to origin, the vertical distance is 8 mm. Sketch fully constrained, close it. Create a new sketch. XY plane, change the mode to wireframe. Select a straight line. Set the angle to 30 degrees on the line with the x-axis. The distance from the end point of the line to the origin is 96 mm, and the height from the end point to the origin is 29 mm. Close it. Select Part Workbench. Then switch Utility. Select Rectangle Profile. Check Create Solid. Click on Sweep Path button. Select the line and click Done, then OK. Chain move back to as is. Select the object, then the sweep object, followed by Cut. And you can see the hole is being cut. Go back to Part Design Workbench. We will repeat the same cut on the left side of the object here. Now we have both hole cuts. The next thing we're going to do is to add some feeder onto the object itself. Select the top edge of the two shapes, followed by the lower edge, then the feeder tools. Set the radius to 3 mm. Next, rotate the model. Select the top edge and the side edge, followed by the feeder tool. Set it to 1 mm radius. Alright, that's what we need to do for this model itself. Next, save the model. We'll give the model the file name of Charger Part 1. Go to Part Design. Next, create a new document, new body. followed by a new sketch. Select XY plane. Take the line to draw a horizontal line along the x-axis. Set the line distance to 81 mm. Select the left endpoint of the line and the origin. Constrain them together. Draw a vertical line up from the right endpoint and another horizontal line to the left. Select the horizontal line, set the width to 80 mm. Select the vertical line and make it perpendicular to the axis. And select the vertical line and set the distance to 2 mm. Take the line to draw a diagonal line to the y-axis. Set the length to 81 mm. Draw another line parallel to this line and set them to equal length. Next, connect the two top endpoints with another line and set the angle between the short line and the long line to 90 degrees so that they are perpendicular to each other. Set the short line distance to 2 mm. And between the two lower endpoints, set the distance between them to 2 mm as well. Constrain the endpoint to the y-axis. Select the lower diagonal line and one of the horizontal lines, set the angle to 60 degrees. Next, take the arc tools and connect the line together between the outer line and also the inner two lines. Make them as smooth as possible. Close sketch. With the sketch, pad it up to 72 mm. Select the surface of the side, create a new sketch. Use a line tool, draw two lines to cross the shape. Connect the two endpoints with the line again. Set the width to 2 mm. Set the distance between the origin to the first point to 54 mm. Set the angle between the line to be 60 degrees. Now set this distance to 2 mm as well. Do a slight adjustment to make sure that they are in the drawing. Close the sketch. Now pad it up, select reverse and change the length to 6 mm. Now we'll repeat the same on the other side of the object itself. Rotate and select the surface here, create a new sketch. Select the circle tools, add a circle to the surface here. Set the radius of the circle to 10 mm. Next, from the center of the circle to the origin, the vertical height is 36 mm. And from the center of the circle to the origin, the horizontal distance is 20 mm. We are good. Close the sketch. Create a pocket of this. Alright, we will just take the default setting, close it. This one look good. The next thing we're going to do is to select the four corner here. Select the fillet tools. Add a 3 mm fillet for this. Alright, save it and we'll call it Charger Part 2. Alright, with that we can export it to STL format. Select the object and export to STL Charger Part 2. Save it. We have yet to export the Charger Part 1 to STL, so let's do it. Select the model and export it to charger part 1. Save it. With the 3D model done and exported to STL format, we are now ready to import the STL into the 3D printer slicer software. In the slicer software, click Add, select the STL file charger part 1 and part 2, open it, click on Arrange. We will need to rotate the first part of the object, rotate 90 degrees by X-axis, rearrange them, and we also add the support from build plate itself. This will allow the slicer to add the support structure for the protruding part of part 1. For this, we will print with PLA, and the infill we will leave it at 20%, and that's sufficient for this to print. Alright, if we are good, we click on slide now. And the green color here show the support structure that we added. You can rotate it to look at the various angle of how it look like. You can drag the orange color bar on the right to look at how each layer of the slice look like. Go to the lower right button, you can see that this model required about 9 hours to get it print, and it will require about 23 meters of filament. When everything is good, click on Export G-code to get the model export to the printable format. Use the default name given, or you can key in your own name for the G-code. When it's done, a pop-up message will show you export is successful. Now you can copy the G-code to the printer to print. With the 3D model printed, let's put the wireless charger with the phone stand together and see how we can use the phone on it. Take the printer parts, put them together. Take the wireless charger, insert the charging cable through the left hole and put that into the connectors. You can see that the wireless charger sits properly onto the semicircle on the stand. Put the phone on and you can see that it's charging. Rotate it to landscape, it's still working, and you can move them in different orientation according to your preference with one hand. The stand design is for you to change the cable in different with the cable insert into different side of the stand, so that when you use it on your table, you can switch them accordingly without obstructing your work. The circle on the part 2 is for you to insert the cable through, so that you can use it with the center slot for the charger. This will make the cable more managed during the application. Likewise, everything works according to what we intend it to be. Let's recap what we have covered. I would like to use my phone on an elevated angle while charging it with the wireless charger. We use FreeCAD part design and part workbench to model part with line, rectangle, circle, arc, fillet, equal, parallel, sweep, and cut tools to create the phone stand. Once the 3D model is completed, we export it to STL format that can be used in the 3D printer slicer software to slice it for 3D printing. Finally, with the printed part, the wireless charger is put together with the phone stand that allow me to use the phone at an elevated angle while wirelessly get charged. If you like this series of video and would like to support it, you can simply like the video, share it with your friends, family members and colleagues can benefit from learning how to design 3D models using a CAD software and print them for daily usage. Of course, remember to subscribe for future videos. Thank you for your attention. Bye.